Good evening, this is GCN English News Edition, and you're watching with me, Ning Hoi Kim Kong Sai. First, the headlines. PM Modi speaks to Putin, says shared more insights from recent visit to Ukraine. Heavy rainfall triggered alerts and disruptions across India. Tripura flood. Government of India sends central team to assess situation. Death toll hits 31. News in detail. Days after returning from Kyiv, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin and shared his insight from his visit to Ukraine, reiterating India's firm commitment to supporting an early, abiding, and peaceful resolution of the conflict with Ukraine. In a post on X, Prime Minister Modi said the two leaders also discussed measures to further strengthen the special and privileged strategic partnership between the two countries. He said, exchanged perspectives on the Russia-Ukraine conflict and more insights from the recent visit to Ukraine, reiterated India's firm commitment to support an early, abiding, and peaceful resolution of the conflict. On Monday, Prime Minister Modi briefed US President Joe Biden on his visit to Ukraine and conveyed India's full support for the early return of peace to the region through dialogue and diplomacy. Later in a statement, the Ministry of External Affairs said Modi, during his telephone conversation with Putin, recalled his successful visit to Russia last month to participate in the 22 India-Russia Bilateral Summit. The two leaders exchanged views on the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. Prime Minister shared insights from his recent visit to Ukraine. He underlined the importance of dialogue and diplomacy, as well as sincere and practical engagement between all stakeholders to achieve an abiding and peaceful resolution of the conflict, the MES said. The two leaders reviewed progress on a number of bilateral issues and discussed measures to further strengthen the special and privileged strategic partnership between India and Russia, it said. They also exchanged views on a range of regional and global issues of mutual interest, the statement said, adding the two leaders agreed to remain in touch. PM Modi paid a historic visit to Ukraine on August 23, the first ever visit to Ukraine by an Indian Prime Minister since it became independent over 3 decades ago, and held wide-ranging talks with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Modi has also confirmed to Putin his readiness to attend the BRICS summit to be held in Kazan from October 22 to 24, which will be the first summit of the grouping after its expansion, state-owned TASS news agency reported, citing the press service of the Kremlin. The issues of practical implementations of agreement in the trade and economic area reached during the official visit of the Indian Prime Minister to Russia in July were discussed, the report said. Russia, which is the current chair of BRICS, will host the summit in its southwestern city of Kazan. Due to the ongoing blockade on National Highway 102B, which connects Mizoram and Manipur, fuel supply has been severely disrupted in Lamka. For the past 20 days, petrol and diesel have been in short supply, leading to a thriving black market. Petrol and diesel are being sold at exorbitant rates in the black market, with prices rising from 100 to rupees 120 per liter. In some areas, petrol is being sold at rupees 110 per liter, while in others is rupees 105 or 110. The shortage of fuel has led to a crisis, with many vehicles, including school vans and autos, struggling to find fuel. The few petrol pumps in Lamka have run out of stock, and the situation is becoming increasingly dire. The blockade has resulted in a shortage of fuel, leading to a surge in black market sales. With no end to the blockade in sight, the situation is likely to worsen. The people of Lamka are struggling to find fuel, with many being forced to buy from the black market at inflated prices. The situation is becoming increasingly desperate, with no solution in sight. Unknown individuals believed to be associated with organizations have resorted to brutal means, such as butchering and killing people to meet their demands within the town. With this regard, the United Kuki National Army (UKNA) Town Defense Secretary Casper Kuki issued a warning notice to all the concerned to remain vigilant. The organization also asserts if there is suspicions of any members of a particular family who indulge in theft to keep a close watch. The notice further said that from now on, the organization will take direct action against anyone using force to extort money or meet their demands. In case of emergency, the organization provides mobile contact number 841-400-9403 and can be reached anytime, added the notice. A blood donation camp was held at District Hospital Blood Bank today at 11 a.m. It was donated for 2 individuals who are in need of blood aid. Additionally, not only 2 BSF personnel donated blood, but 14 voluntarily donated their blood. Members of Bethany EBC Bungmol also organized a voluntary blood donated camp to help those in need of blood. 11 members of BYF Bethany donated blood during this camp. This blood donation drive was organized to address the shortage of blood in the hospital due to various reasons. The donated blood will help patients who are in urgent need of blood. The BYF Bethany Secretary expressed gratitude to all those who donated blood during this program. In a series of coordinated operations, security forces and police in Manipur have successfully apprehended several cadres from proscribed militant outfits and made significant seizures. As per India Today Northeast, on August 26, security forces arrested 2 militants belonging to a band outfit, KYKL, at Wangzing Hera crossing under Thoubal district. Police identified the arrested person as Narengbam Gobind Singh, 37, and Moirang Mayum Romantic alias Prem, 27, reportedly in possession of one 9mm pistol along with a magazine, one SMG carbine along with a magazine, a mobile phone along with a SIM card, 5 live rounds of ammunition, and 1 4-wheel vehicles resisted in the name of one dwelling at Sangayumpam under Thoubal district. One Koizam Uparjit Singh, aged about 29 years and working as a cadet under the proscribed outfit KCP, was arrested by a team of Manipur police from Ilankhanpokpi in Gakching district on the intervening night of August 26 and 27. In the course of investigations, he has revealed that he was involved in extortions and other unlawful activities. In another similar operations, police conducted a massive search operations in Bishnupur district after arresting 4 cadres of KCP PWG on August 26, 2024. They covered a shelter house of KCP PWG in the Kamong area and recovered 6 4-wheeler vehicles along with combat dress, boots, belts, sleeping bags, blankets, bulletproof vests, helmets, and cooking utensils. The operations to trace the remaining militants are continuing. A torrential downpour that began early this morning has caused significant disruptions across Aizawl and the Lunglei districts in Mizoram. Heavy rain starting at around 5 a.m. have led to widespread flooding and infrastructure damage. Authorities have announced the closure of all schools in the affected districts as precautionary measure. Earlier on August 26, the Northeast Frontier Railways (NFR) had already faced challenges due to heavy rains and soil erosion along the interstate railway track between Assam and Mizoram. The disruption affected the route near Kilarbagh, approximately 60 km from Hailakandi town. This setback had led to a temporary halt in railway services between the states. NFR has announced that restoration work will commence only after the water levels in the Daleswari River have receded. The restoration process will start after an on-spot verification by experts, a senior NFR official told the Assam Tribune on Monday. The seriousness of the soil erosion has caused delays, and the restoration is expected to take some time, he added. Currently, passenger train services operating between Bairapi in Mizoram and Silchar to Hailakandi have been rerouted. The central government has sent an advanced inter-ministerial central team, IMCT, to Tripura for a spot assessment of the situation in the wake of the devastating floods. This decision was made at the request of state government, as per Revenue Secretary Bridges Monday. The team will be led by B.C. Joshi, Joint Secretary Foreigners Division, Ministry of Home Affairs, New Delhi. The official said the IMCT consists of representatives from the Department of Agriculture, Department of Expenditure, Ministry of Finance, Jal Shakti, Department of Water Resources, Ministry of Rural Development, and Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. The team arrived here for the on-the-spot assessment of the situation in the wake of devastating floods in Tripura. As of today, 492 relief camps are operational by district administrations, providing shelter to over 72,000 persons in the state. The administration is continuing to provide necessary relief, including food, drinking water, medical health, among others in relief camps. Clothes have also been distributed to about 300 needy people in Amarpur and Karbuk subdivision under Gomati district. The death toll has risen to 31, while 2 have been injured and 1 person is reported to be missing. The official father said that a committee headed by Prasam Badalnegi, IAS Director, Tourism Department, along with officers from other departments has been constituted to interact with the NGOs for collections and redistributions of relief materials received on donations from different organizations. Bridges' father said the government of Tripura has released Rs 69 crores to 8 districts and Rs 5 crore is to Agriculture and Power Department. Amid heavy rainfall, a man stranded over a large rock in Mahi River in Gujarat's Vadodara was rescued after 30 hours by a special Indian Air Force helicopter on Tuesday. The rescued person has been identified as Kirtanbhai Samabhai Garasia. Soon after being airlifted, Garasia was shifted to an Air Force hospital in Vadodara for a health checkup. The dramatic video of the rescue operation amid stormy wind, heavy rain, and gushing flood waters beneath the Indian Air Force helicopter is going viral on social media. Heavy rain has thrown life out of gear in many parts of Gujarat, which received significant downpour from Monday through Tuesday. The India Meteorological Department has forecast extremely heavy rainfall to continue over parts of Gujarat, including the Saurashtra and Kutch regions, for the next few days under the influence of a deep depression. The deep depression is currently over North Gujarat and is likely to reach Saurashtra and Kutch by Thursday, the agency said. The Weather Bureau has warned against strong winds with a speed of 40 to 50 km per hour over North Gujarat today. These winds can reach a maximum speed of 60 km per hour. In South Gujarat, Saurashtra and Kutch, wind speeds could reach up to 65 km per hour for the next 3 days. Along the coast of Gujarat, wind speeds are seen gusting to 75 km per hour. The Weather Office has issued a red alert for heavy rainfall over parts of interior Gujarat, Saurashtra and Kutch till Thursday. A red alert indicates very heavy rainfall of over 204.4 mm in 24 hours. An orange alert is for heavy rainfall of 115.6 to 204.4 mm. In the past 24 hours, the state received an average of 94.20 mm of rainfall, with several talukas witnessing significant downpour. As a result of the substantial rainfall, several major reservoirs across the state are being carefully managed. The Sardar Sarovar Dam on the Narmada River currently holds 86.97% of its total capacity, with an inflow of 338,401 cuses and an outflow of 385,269 cusecs. Other dams, including Ukai, 80.16% full, and Kadana, 87.43% full, are also witnessing significant inflows and discharge water to maintain the safety levels. The heavy rainfall has led to a series of incidents across the state. BJP worker clashed with the police at several places across West Bengal on Wednesday as they tried to enforce a 12-hour shutdown in the state. Several BJP leaders, including former Rajya Sabha MP Rupa Ganguly and MLA Agnimitra Pol, were detained for blocking roads and railway tracks since the early morning. The Bangla Bang, which began at 6 a.m., was called by the BJP in protest against Tuesday's police actions on participations of the Bana Abhijan, or MERS, the Secretariat, organized by the newly formed students group Jatra Samaj, over the rape and murder of the doctor at Arzikar Hospital. The shutdown partially affected daily life in the state, with many people choosing to remain indoors, apprehending trouble on the roads. In state capital Kolkata, the usual weekday flurry was missing, with a larger number of buses, auto rickshaws, and taxis plying. Private vehicles were also significantly less, even as markets and shops remained open. Schools and colleges were open, though the number of students were lesser. In many private offices, attendance was low, with employees asked to work from home. However, attendance was as usual in government offices. Several BJP leaders were detained across the state for attempting to enforce the shutdown. Ganguly and Pol were detained from South Kolkata's Gariahat area when they were urging traders to down their shutters and requesting people to support the band. Kolkata Municipal Corporation's councillor Sajal Ghosh was detained from his residence in Selda shortly after BJP workers scuffled with TMC supporters while trying to enforce the band in the nearby Kolei market. His wife Tanya Ghosh then took out a rally, alleging that police held him without any warrant. Later, Deputy Commissioner Central Indira Mukherjee said Ghosh was arrested for making provocative comments. State BJP President Sukanta Muzumdar, a union minister, led a procession at Baguihati in the northern fringes of the city, but had an altercation with the police who tried to stop him. Former MP Debasri Chowdhury and hundreds of party workers accompanied him. BJP workers also demonstrated in Shyambazar and Wipro Moro in the IT hub of Sector 5, but police were swift in removing them to clear the roads for traffic. An official of the Eastern Railway said Band supporters blocked tracks at 49 places under its jurisdiction in the state. While the blockades were lifted at most places, it was continuing in 9 stations, mostly in the Silda South section, he said. BJP workers demonstrated at Bangawan Station in North 24 Parganas, Gujarat Station in South 24 Parganas, and Murshidabad stations in support of the band. Tension was palpable at Barakpur stations in North 24 Parganas as BJP supporters and TMC workers came face to face. At Bhatpara in North 24 Parganas district, BJP alleged that 2 of its workers were shot at. In a rare instance, Indian and Chinese warships are currently docked in Sri Lankan capital Colombo. According to reports, Colombo is currently hosting India's INS Mumbai and 3 Chinese ships. The Times of India reported that while the Indian guided missile destroyer has around 410 personnel on board, The Chinese ships have a crew of around 1,500 personnel. The newspaper further reported that Chinese ships include destroyer Hafil and amphibious ships Wujishan and Kilianshan. India sees the Indian Ocean region (IOR) as its turf and considers Chinese presence in the region as an irritant. Lately, China has been increasing their presence as well as operations in the IOR. Previously, the docking of Chinese ships and submarines has irked India. Last year, a spy ship of China has also docked in Sri Lanka. A defense official told the newspaper that Chinese warships, including those part of anti-piracy escort forces, are now staying in the IOR for a much longer time. The expanding Chinese naval presence in the IOR, along with Beijing's hunt for additional logistical turnaround facilities in the region, has become a major challenge for India, said the official. China has ramped up its military activities in the IOR while it has been beefing up Pakistan's naval presence for a while. It has recently entered into a defense agreement with the Maldives as well, where the new government is deemed unfriendly to India. President Mohammad Mujib has got the Indian military contingent from the country removed before entering into the pact. Such a situation may arise in Sri Lanka as well as the country is headed up to presidential election next month. Anura Kumara, the rival of incumbent Ranil, is deemed pro-China. The Indian states on Tuesday reaffirmed its commitment to defending Israel against any potential Iranian attack while expressing cautious optimism about the prospects of a Gaza ceasefire, according to White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby on Tuesday. As per a report by news agency Reuters in an interview with Israel Channel 12, Kirby acknowledged the unpredictability for an attack but emphasized that the White House takes Iran's statement seriously. We believe that they are still postured and poised to launch an attack should they want to do that, which is why we have that enhanced force posture in the region, he stated. 1. Don't do it. There's no reason to escalate this. There's no reason to potentially start some sort of all-out regional war. And number 2, we are going to be prepared to defend Israel if it comes to that, Kirby said, as quoted by Reuters, reiterating the consistent U.S. message to Iran. This comes in the wake of Iran's vow to retaliate strongly for the killings of Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh, who was visiting Tehran last month. While Iran blames Israel for the assassination, Israel has neither confirmed nor denied its involvement. The U.S. has bolstered its military presence in the Middle East, maintaining 2 aircraft carrier strike groups and additional squadron of F-22 fighter jets in the region. Kirby emphasized that the U.S. force will remain in place as long as we feel like we need to keep it in place to help defend Israel and defend our own troops and facilities in the region. However, Kirby expressed hope for a possible Gaza ceasefire to end the 10-month-long conflict and secure the release of the remaining 108 Israeli hostages. He described the ongoing discussion as constructive and looked forward to further talk in Doha in the coming days. Kirby refrained from assigning blame for the current impasse, instead highlighted the need for compromise and leadership from both Israel and Hamas. The parties are still engaged, and that's a good thing, Kirby noted. The fact that we move on to another level here with working groups now in Doha, that's not a bad thing. It means that the sides are still talking. It means that there's still hope that we can nail down these last few details and move forward, he was quoted as saying by Reuters. Hamas is still being represented in these working group discussions, and that is a good thing. Nobody has broken off entirely from the process. Since the beginning of this year, nearly 15,000 children in Gaza have been diagnosed with acute malnutrition, according to United Nations. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, reported that out of 239,580 children examined since mid-January, 14,750 were diagnosed with malnutrition, affecting those aged 6 months to just under 5 years. This includes 3,288 cases of severe acute malnutrition. Dr. Hassam Abu Safia, director of Kamal at one hospital, stated, "We have counted nearly 5,000 children so far, with 1/3 showing symptoms of malnutrition." He noted that a quarter of these cases were not sent to intensive care as they were classified as malnutrition with complications. These cases are currently being treated in the hospital's malnutrition treatment department, supported by the UN's World Health Organization (WHO). Abu Safia warned that the increasing number of complicated cases represents a critical stage that could present death. Kamal at one hospital, located in northern Gaza, is one of only 4 facilities in the region specializing in malnutrition treatment. As reported by the UN's news service, the situation in Gaza has been exacerbated by attacks on hospitals, ambulances, places of worship, and homes amid Israel's ongoing war on the territory. The long-standing Israeli blockade on Gaza has intensified since the outbreak of the conflict, with only limited aid allowed in. This has severely strained the food system and worsened humanitarian conditions, pushing the territory to the brink of famine. The Israeli war on the Strip has so far killed at least 40,405 individuals, according to Gaza Health Ministry. South Africa has taken Israel to International Court of Justice, ICJ, the UN's top tribunal, accusing it of committing genocide. Two workers were killed and another seriously injured in an explosion today at Delta Airlines maintenance facility near the Atlanta airport. Delta said it was working with local authorities to investigate what happened at the wheel and brake shop. WSB-TV reported that a tire on a plane exploded. The television station cited unnamed sources. Several Atlanta fire units and police responded to the maintenance hangar near Hartsfield Jackson, Atlanta International Airport shortly after 5 a.m. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported. Flights into and out of the airport were not affected. The Delta family is heartbroken at the loss of 2 team members and the injury of another following an incident this morning at the Atlanta Technical Operations Maintenance Facility, Delta said in a statement. "We have extended our full support to family members and colleagues during this incredibly difficult time." Delta thanked first responders and medical teams. "We are now working with local authorities and conducting a full investigation to determine what happened," the Atlanta-based airline said. The Federal Aviation Administration said it was in contact with Delta but referred a request for additional information about the apparent accident to the airline. A spokesman from the Federal Occupational Safety and Health Administration, Eric Lucero, said the agency has started an investigation. The facility where the explosion happened is part of Delta Tech Ops, which performs maintenance, repair, and overhaul work for Delta and more than 150 aviations and airline customers around the world. The president of Tech Ops, Delta Executive Vice President John Lowther, said in a note to staff that the airline will make counselors available to employees. "We're all in this together and we'll get through this by supporting each other," he said. Atlanta Mayor Andrew Dixon posted on X to offer his condolences to relatives of the victims. The International Association of Machines and Aerospace Workers, which is trying to organize 20,000 ground workers at Jersey, non-union Delta, called on the airline and authorities to quickly launch a thorough investigation into how this happened. Emergency crews on Tuesday were racing to clear tons of earth and down trees from a landslide zone in Ketchikan before another storm front was expected to hit overnight, which officials fear could trigger further slides. The devastating 3rd Avenue landslide struck a densely populated Ketchikan neighborhood Sunday afternoon, a City of Ketchikan Public Works employee was killed while clearing storm water drains. Junior firefighters assisting in Ketchikan confirmed that 4 homes were a total loss with additional damage to several others, officials said. Some homes we will not know for a while and some may have significant flood damage, said Rodney Dial, mayor of Ketchikan Gateway Borough. Dial's chief resident, the borough's fire chief and incident commander, surveyed the damage caused by the landslide Tuesday. Tons of earth and trees slid 1,100 feet down a steep hillside, crashing into homes below. The landslide was 250 feet wide at its widest spot, officials said. It was a wall of water, of mud and everything, Dial said, pointing downhill. And it went right down there and flooded these houses. Since the 3rd Avenue slide, the Alaska Department of Natural Resources landslide hazard team has been monitoring the stability of the slope. Mort Larson, a member of the state landslide team, said Tuesday that no landslide movement has been recorded in the area since Sunday afternoon. On White Cliff Avenue, a red house rested against another home farther downhill. A huge pile of trees, logs, and earth bore down on both. On Tuesday morning, residents raced to empty one of the houses of their mementos. The steep hillside above them was once densely forested. Now it has been turned into a 1,000-foot gully of loose earth and logs lying over bedrock. Without trees to anchor the soil, officials are concerned another storm could wash tons of debris down the hill, causing further devastation below. Hundreds of Indian student graduates have staged protests against a new federal policy in Canada that puts them at risk of getting deported from the country. Many international students, particularly those from India, dream of moving into North American country in hopes of building a better life. But the announced immigration policy changes have left the future of more than 70,000 students graduates in the uncertainty. Indian students have come in front of Legislative Assembly in Canada, Prince Edward Island province, protesting the sudden policy change for more than 3 months. Similar demonstrations were also seen in the provinces of Ontario, Manitoba, and British Columbia. The new policies are aimed at reducing the number of permanent residency nominations by 25%, as well as limiting study permits. The change comes as Canada saw rapid population growth over the last few years. Around 97% of last year's population increase in Canada was driven by immigration, according to federal data. Representatives from students' advocacy group Nauzawan Support Network warned the graduates are at risk of being deported when their work permits expire at the end of this year. I spent the most crucial 6 years of my life taking many risks to come to Canada, says Mehakdeep Singh, a former international student who is facing deportation. For the past 6 years, I studied, I worked, I paid taxes, I earned enough, CRS, comprehensive ranking system, points, but the government has just taken advantage of us, Singh said. Like many international students, Singh has spent his family's life saving on college tuition fees in the hopes of eventually gaining permanent residency. Amid a local housing and job crisis, Prime Minister Justin's government is under pressure to reduce the number of temporary residents, which has seen a staggering growth in recent years. Trudeau has been trailing in polls ahead of an election expected next year. The Canadian government is reducing the number of temporary foreign workers it brings in, reversing its decision to expand the program in 2022. The program allows immigrants to work in the country on a short-term basis, meant to fill labor shortages, according to Employment and Social Development Canada (ESDC). 183,820 temporary foreign worker permits were granted in 2023, a steep 88% increase from 2019. The ESDC on Monday criticized employers for using the program to circumvent hiring talented workers in Canada. Under the few changes, work permits will be denied in regions where the unemployment rate is at or above 6%. The changes will exempt sectors like agriculture, food processing, constructions, and healthcare. We are looking at the various streams to make sure that as we move forward, Canada remains a place that is positive in its support for immigration, but also responsible in the way we integrate and make sure there's a pathway to success for everyone who comes to Canada, Justin told reporters on Monday. That's all from us tonight, and we thank you for joining our program.